Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world. On Newsfeed today, how far-right racists are using social media during the lockdown to spread conspiracy theories. A look at some of the perhaps unexpected outcomes of the pandemic. How to do a YouTube channel from a person who does one. And dancing on your own for the whole world to see through social media. Top of our newsfeed, how far-right racists and xenophobes are using social media to peddle conspiracy theories around the pandemic. Adama has the story.
The saying goes, never let a good crisis go to waste. And far-right groups seem to be seizing the moment. Groups like Britain First, Knights Templar International, and other organisations are using the lockdown to push their agendas online and boost support by stoking anti-immigrant fears. According to the London-based Zinc network, which tracks disinformation and propaganda, the UK's most prominent far-right groups and individuals are blaming coronavirus on illegal immigration. These groups claim countries with stricter border controls are dealing better with the outbreak and argue this pandemic might spell the end for modern liberal states like the UK. Tell Mama, a British organisation that tracks anti-Muslim attacks, reported a tweet that used derogatory language to accuse Muslims of not practicing social distancing. It also reported tweets and videos accusing Muslims of flouting the lockdown. In Australia, SBS News reported some neo-Nazi groups are posting hopes that the pandemic will see border closures and societal collapse. The way these groups use social media is changing. Britain First has been banned from Facebook, Twitter, and most recently TikTok. But it's still using YouTube to get people to attend protests. And while the protests are often not well attended, they can be intimidating for ethnic minorities. Across Europe, experts say the far-right is struggling to find a coherent message on the virus. In some countries, support for far-right political parties has fallen. Historically, the far-right has used economic hardship to gain support. And with more people on social media during this outbreak, the far-right might have a far bigger audience than ever.
All right, let's take a look at some other COVID-19 related stories that you may have missed. The right to work from home could be enshrined into law in Germany. The country's Labour Minister, Hubertus Heil, said the pandemic has shown that working from home works and that it should become a permanent thing for those whose jobs allows it once the pandemic lockdown measures are relaxed. The plan has been rejected by a German employer group. This while Germany's foreign minister warns against restarting the tourism industry too soon. He wants to see a common European policy on the reopening of holiday destinations to avoid another wave of COVID cases in vacation spots this summer. Farmers in Belgium are encouraging unhealthy eating habits by calling on their country people to eat more frites. The lockdown has led to a massive cut in demand for potatoes, but the harvest goes on and piles of spuds have been seen all over Europe. The Belgian farmers want Belgians to eat chips twice a week to help out. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson both had COVID-19 and recovered. Now the actors are donating their blood for research into a vaccine. Scientists are now looking at the Hollywood star's antibodies to see if they'll help. Now, there have been many unthinkable things to come from this pandemic, things that just a month ago most of us would never have considered would be able to happen. And they have. Here's Nabila.
You may have read about how the coronavirus could change the world, financially, socially, and politically. But here are 5 bizarre impacts the current lockdowns are having that you may not have heard of. Wait, what? We've all heard about the wildlife that seems to be reclaiming cities while humans are stuck indoors. In Nara, Japan, deer have wandered through the city and subway stations. In Simonstown, South Africa, penguins are hanging out in the streets. But unlike other wildlife, rats aren't having as much fun during this outbreak. The shutting down of businesses and restaurants have led to a shortage of food for rats. Multiple rodentologists say the rats are turning to cannibalism or infanticide to survive. This means in the short term, the rat population could decline. But in the long term, the survivors could adapt, and smarter, more aggressive rats could produce rat babies that are also smarter and more aggressive. The lockdown dream epidemic and coronavirus insomnia. People from around the world have been reporting vivid and bizarre dreams on social media since the lockdowns began. Dreams like getting dressed up to go out in toilet paper, or going on a date with someone who isn't staying a meter away from them, or trying to flee their homes with a mask. A dream survey from Harvard Medical School seems to confirm dream incidents as the virus spreads around the world. So why the weird dreams? Dreaming is still poorly understood, but what we do know is that elevated stress and anxiety levels, which most of the world is feeling right now, can lead to more negative content in dreams. Dreams are also fundamental to the way we process emotional events. And the dramatic way in which life has changed has been emotional for most people. But you're only likely to get intense lockdown dreams if you're actually sleeping. Google searches of the word insomnia reached an all-time high in the second week of April. And a new survey reported that 22% of all participants say that they've been tossing and turning since the pandemic began. The planet is moving less. Like not the people or things on the planet, but the actual planet. Seismologists from around the world are reporting that the drastic reduction in human movement and vibrations from trains and planes are causing a drop in seismic noise. This means the planet's upper crust is actually moving less. Fewer vibrations and movements mean the smaller seismic activity can be picked up, and it gives us a better chance at detecting earthquakes. Coronavirus lockdowns may be saving lives in other ways. No, we aren't talking about preventing infection. People are stuck at home, so there are fewer deaths related to accidents. A drastic decline in deaths on the roads over Easter was reported from Spain to New Zealand. Murder and crime rates have also declined in Latin America, Southern Africa, and parts of the US. Air pollution has also fallen. The director of the Hugo Observatory says it might be too early to say, but there's a chance that the lockdowns may save more people from dying from air pollution than from the virus itself. The World Health Organization estimates that the annual global toll from the atmospheric pollution is 7 million people. Coronavirus conspiracies. Coronavirus hasn't just led to lockdowns. It's led to countless crazy conspiracies about its origins, effects, and cures. Coronavirus is an escaped bioweapon. The 5G networks have caused coronavirus. Coronavirus was actually started by Bill Gates to force vaccines on the world. Black people are less likely to get coronavirus. Coronavirus isn't actually deadly. It's all hyped up. Right now, we're in a time of great uncertainty. Psychologists say that people become more inclined to believe wacky explanations to help them make sense of their new frightening reality and give them a sense of control. But the theories are not just bizarre, they're really dangerous. They're stoked with xenophobia, spreading misinformation that certain groups need not worry about contracting the virus because of their genes, scapegoated others, and it's even led to people threatening public safety by gathering in large groups. Several dozen anti-vaxxers and other conspiracy-peddling protesters gathered in Austin, Texas to protest the lockdown, risking infections. The conspiracies have even resulted in death. 600 Iranians died from consuming pure rubbing alcohol, which was supposedly meant to protect them from infection. So stay home and try to stay realistic, folks.
Okay, around the world now for a couple of other stories you need to know this Monday. The British spy agencies MI5, MI6 and GCHQ will need to use artificial intelligence to deal with the espionage of the future. A report from the Royal United Services Institute and the intelligence services themselves says adversaries will use AI in the future and that British spooks will need to be prepared and counter it with their own. And Britain uses 2.5 billion takeaway coffee cups every year. It's been described as massively wasteful by a company called Intertech, which tests products. Some companies are experimenting with properly recyclable cups. One way to not be so wasteful is to buy a coffee flask and just carry it with you. And now, since people need something to do, here is some advice on how to be a YouTuber. First tip, don't think too hard.
Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Esa Seipato. I'm 27 years old. I come from Botswana, but I'm currently living in the most fantastic city ever, which of course is Istanbul, even though we are unfortunately sequestered to our houses at the moment. But it's not so bad, is it? Because this is the time for us to be creative and to make content, which is why I'm here, guys, because I want to give you a few tips on how to make your own videos simply at home. Guys, don't overthink anything. Do not overthink anything, guys. That would be my first tip to you guys. Don't overthink anything. The most important thing for you to do, guys, is to start. Don't think about like the fancy lighting equipment, like fancy cameras and whatnot. People tend to think that if you want to become a YouTuber, you need to have equipment that comes from the moon, which is not the case. You just need your phone, which I'm pretty sure you guys are using as you're watching this video right now. Your phone is the key to everything. I've established a lot of relationships using my phone, so why can't you? Lights, camera, action. Guys, why do you think they always say lights, camera, action and not action, camera, lights? No, because they would never say that, right? Because lighting is one of the most important components of making a video, right? Yeah, so guys, that is my second tip. Let that light in. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I conducted a little experiment for you guys to show you how much of a difference good lighting can make. And it's very inexpensive, guys. Just open your window, open the curtains, right? Pull the drapes and let that light in. So look at this video, guys. Look at how washed out I am. Essentially invisible in this video. The image is just like really depressing, not good to look at. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if I were to post this video the way it is on screen right now, you guys would just like click out because it's just so boring and depressing, right? But then look at how much of a difference just like pulling the drapes makes. Just letting a little light into your life, right? Into your video. The video is just much more positive. It makes me as a creator comfortable as well. It makes me connecting with you guys a little bit better. And yeah, so guys, just let that light in. Let it in, let it in, let it in. But unfortunately, guys, you can't always depend on natural lighting. Like today, my creative juices are flowing. Your juices might be flowing as well, and you want to make that video, but the weather is just not good. There's no sun whatsoever, so you can get some help from lighting as well. I do have a studio light, and I have a lamp here in front of me, but the studio light is not the most important thing ever. Like without the light, I would still use my lamps. I have a couple of lamps in my house which were pretty inexpensive, like 60 tele each, so you can just use your lights to get that extra lighting. It's not that difficult. And my final tip to you guys would be to make videos that you want to make. Don't make videos because they're trending or people tell you that you can make these types of videos, which is what has happened to me a lot in the past. People came to me and said, Esa, stop making these videos, you know, you could get into this niche. It doesn't work, it doesn't make you happy. So make videos that make you happy even if they get 10 views. I always tell people to just celebrate every single view, because behind every single view there's a human being that just like clicked on your video. So celebrate every single view, see every single view as an achievement.
Well, to Dubai now to see some of the high-tech wearables being used by the police there to monitor people. And last up to Russia for some ballerinas doing their bits to make sure their work is still seen, even in lockdown. This was posted to the Instagram account of the Mikhailovsky Theatre with the words in Russian and English, "We miss you." We miss you too. As you can see, they go from making dinner to sweeping the floor to dancing around a traffic circle, you'll see in a sec, without a care in the world. Bravo, bravo. And that'll be all from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel, follow me on Twitter, follow, subscribe, and add. Stay at home. See you tomorrow.